first rebuild of the sort of new year. And this one, obviously, the biggest of dominoes to fall after the draft was the trade of Russell Westbrook to the LA Lakers. Yes, not a fantasy draft, not a fantasy trade. This is real. This is happening. Westbrook is on the Lakers. It's pretty interesting because as of right now, the Lakers roster is very much depleted, and it is now up to me, ASMballeR, to sort of revamp, revive this Lakers roster and try to make a championship roster surrounding Westbrook, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James. Should be interesting, so make sure you like the video if you do like the video and subscribe to the channel. Doing a giveaway at 7.5k, so make sure you guys look out for that. Thank you for all your support. So, with this video, taking a look at Russell Westbrook here. Obviously, I don't have the up-to-date stats on 2K. They don't have like a start today sort of feature like they used to have in 2K. But last season, he averaged 22 points, 11 and a half rebounds, and 11 and a half technically assists. So, triple-double Russ was still in a big effect, and he actually got traded to the Los Angeles Lakers for Kyle Kuzma, which is pretty surprising. You know, Kyle Kuzma, definitely a player that still has a lot of upside in today's NBA, could still be a 15 to 20 day, maybe even a 23 point per game scorer, maybe one day in his career. Who knows? It's kind of cool that the Wizards are going to take that risk with him. Also involved with the trade was Montrezl Harrell. Obviously, Montrezl Harrell not really, I guess, showing up like we all thought he was going to in a Laker uniform. Maybe a change of scenery will be good for him as well. And also, a big hit and a big blow to the LA Lakers, getting rid of KCP, big-time three-point shooter for them. Hopefully, the Lakers can try to find a replacement. But obviously, with the Wizards now picking up these three big boys, it's going to be pretty interesting to see how well this Lakers, I guess, depleted roster now gets formed. So, I am pretty eager to see how well the game of Russell Westbrook changes, if it does changes. Are we going to see a more laid-back Russell Westbrook, you know, maybe not being super-duper ball-controlling, obviously with LeBron James and Anthony Davis being on the same team, or we could see, you know, Russell Westbrook becoming maybe even the number one option on the perimeter for the LA Lakers. It's going to be very interesting to see what they do, what their game plan, the scheme is going to be. But as we are, you know, creating this roster, I did do something kind of just by myself. This has not been sort of reported yet. This is kind of the official start of the rebuild, and that is the sign and trading of Dennis Schroeder. I think Dennis Schroeder is the prime target to be signed and traded. For who, though? We'll get into that. Also, with the rest of the team being off the books, basically, some key guys I really want to try to kick back is definitely Taylor Horton-Tucker and Alex Caruso. I feel like those two guys, hopefully with the right sort of, I don't know, pricing, I guess, on them, could hopefully make a return to the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, obviously, with the Lakers not really having a lot of cap space, it seems like here, as you can see from the affordable section from 2K, they have about 8 mil in cap space to sign, you know, a next player. And, you know, we still need a starting big man to play alongside Anthony Davis, whether it is power forward or center. We also need a starting small forward or shooting guard as well. It's going to be very tough to figure all this out with the little bit of time the Lakers do have in real life and also in the game. So, obviously, one of the big time trades that was mostly talked about during the offseason was Buddy Hield to the LA Lakers. Obviously, not Kyle Kuzma, Buddy Hield having a lot of three-point specialty in his blood and veins. I feel like he would be a perfect sort of pickup, even with the Russell Westbrook trade going through to get. I just don't think the Kings will take this pickup. Obviously, with the draft already being over, them taking Davion Mitchell, also having De'Aaron Fox, also having Tyrese Haliburton, I don't think they're going to also take Dennis Schroeder along with this. I think the only reason why they would have picked him up was the Kyle Kuzma aspect of the trade, which obviously he's gone. So I'm actually making a different trade here for a player who is maybe kind of similar, maybe a little bit of a lesser version, but still good on the right scenario, be very, I guess, productive. And that is Malik Beasley. I think Malik Beasley, also being 6'4", also being a decent scorer, also being a little bit of a scrappy defender, I think could be a pretty decent fit alongside Russell Westbrook with LeBron James. He's a good ball handler. He is a good scorer. I think him also just transitioning into just a good shooter for the team is very reliable. Sure, Buddy Hield is a more efficient player, but I feel like Malik Beasley will get the job done. So I ended up making that trade. I think it's kind of fair. Also, the Ricky Rubio being traded away to Cleveland. Minnesota gets a nice backup point guard. Anyways, with the free agents, Mike Muscala, a good shooting big. Again, shooters. We are looking for 3-point shooters. Also, picking up Austin Rivers. We all saw what Austin Rivers did to Portland against CJ McCollum, against Damian Lillard. Let them up. If we can have that in LA, that would be amazing. Also, Alex Caruso decided to make a return to the LA Lakers, which is absolutely amazing. So, we get shooting, we get defense. I like the pickups we have right now. Taylor Tucker is still a restricted free agent. I'm probably going to match whatever contract he does get offered, because I need this guy. I need his length, his defensive versatility, his athleticism. I need him back on the team. Next day, for free agency, picking up more of a veteran piece, a guy who's been on a lot of good teams. Torrey Craig, a good defender, a really good perimeter defender, will really help out a lot with the perimeter. Also picking up, yes, the return of Boogie Cousins to LA, a healthy Boogie Cousins, by the way, a guy who could just come off the bench whenever we just need a big guy to dominate down in the post. And we also are, yes, picking up on the veteran minimum, Carmelo Anthony. We are finally letting Carmelo ring chase and hopefully try to win us a championship here in LA with his buddy LeBron James. Again, a good shooter, so we're supplying shooters, perimeter defenders. We already have great facilitators with obviously LeBron and Westbrook and even Alex Caruso to a certain point. I like the squad. So at starting point guard, we have Westbrook, Malik Beasley, Taylor Tucker as of right now starting at small forward, LeBron and AD at the 4 and the 5. It has been reported that LeBron and AD told Westbrook that if they needed to, they would switch up at their positions to help out Westbrook in any way, shape, or form. I like LeBron at the 4 and the 5. Then we have Melo and Muscala coming off the bench alongside Torrey Craig as well for defense, and Boogie Cousins as well. Then even deeper in our bench, because obviously in LA, LeBron, a lot of players like the rest. We still have Caruso. I picked up Willie Cauley-Stein to have a more athletic big whenever we want to play a sort of 2020 style of LA Laker basketball, again with having an athletic center to play AD at the 4, Willie Cauley-Stein at the 5, Austin Rivers with that good scoring ability off the bench we saw again in the Portland series they had last year in the playoffs. That's a mouthful. A lot's going on. I hope you can keep up, because this Laker team looking like a true title contender now. I'm gonna pat myself on the back. I think I actually did a pretty decent job with this, I'm not gonna lie. I'm liking it a lot, that's for sure. Also, by the way, I did make this roster all by myself. I didn't download one, so I did trade away a lot of people. Hopefully the rosters are okay. I did put, Cade on the Pistons, Jalen on the Magic, all that jazz. It looks like the computer didn't really build the Nets up all that great, I'm not gonna lie. So maybe this isn't the most realistic when going through the entire season, but I think for rebuilding the Lakers, I did a pretty decent job at being, somewhat realistic as I possibly can be. But yeah, taking a look at the other teams in the year 2022, it looks like we have a little bit of a competition here in the Western Conference, with the Mavericks making their own big three, adding DeMar DeRozan to the Dallas Mavericks, and also Norman Powell as well. Wow, Norman Powell on the Mavericks, I love that. And also, obviously Michael Porter Jr. on the Denver Nuggets is always good. He's going to be very good next year as well. Definitely need to watch them with the new returning Jamal Murray, and also the Pelicans are also a very terrifying team to play in 2K. Getting Jonas Valanciunas, it looks like they re-signed Lonzo Ball, which is really cool to see. It's going to be a tough outing, but again, I feel like I did a pretty decent job at rebuilding. Well, not guess if you're looking at these stats right now, you can tell that the Lakers, in 2K at least, look like the real deal, with LeBron James dropping a big, almost 50 piece in the first few games of the 2020 NBA season. Oh my good God, that is absolutely insane. But I am just obviously going to be simulating to halfway point of the season, you guys. Every time I do a rebuild, nothing new. You guys know the gist. But we're doing pretty good, and as you can see, right, boom, there. It looks like we're doing really good. Obviously, this is obviously on the 50 simulator difficulty. It's on the original settings. Nothing crazy going on here, but wow, that's good. That's really good. Halfway through the season, you can already see Russell Westbrook's stats there. It looks like triple double Russell Westbrook could make an appearance, which could be very interesting for the Los Angeles Lakers in real life. Also having a pretty decent shooting, I guess, outing. Malik Beasley doing exactly what we need him to be. Is just a good, consistent jump shooter to kick out to. Obviously with LeBron and AD in the paint, also with Westbrook cutting all the time. Taylor Tucker hopefully just locking it down on defense. LeBron James doing LeBron James things, just holding it back until the playoffs begin, and then he can release the beast, the animal. It should be very interesting to see that. And also Anthony Davis putting up finally some retro, Anthony Davis numbers that we know and love. Absolutely need this a lot from Anthony Davis. Carmelo having a good, solid year as well, shooting very well. And yeah, I think the players that we got are doing the things that we need them to be. Hopefully Torrey Craig is doing some sort of defense. Boogie Cousins locking it down in the paint on the offensive end. Wow, definitely looking pretty interesting. The standings are also very interesting. We have the Blazers, the Suns, even the Clippers are struggling. Man, a fully healthy Golden State Warrior team can't even make into, the top half of the Western Conference. My God. 2K always hates on the Golden State Warriors, that's for sure. Very tough, definitely not fair. And also the Charlotte Hornets are right now the worst team in the NBA, which is also very surprising. Taking a look here, the Washington Wizards, as of right now, halfway through the season, are in the playoff picture, which is totally crazy. You have Montrezl looking like an absolute animal starting at center for the Washington Wizards, and Kyle Kuzma having a very good sort of revenge season. Looking like he's doing pretty well, and Caldwell Pope is there as well, so yeah. Pretty interesting. And even more interesting, the 2022 MVP is actually triple-double Russell Westbrook. I'm telling you guys, I that's very interesting. I mean, if the Lakers, produce and do everything very cool and very sleek and very, build that team very well, actually that happening, that's for sure. Obviously, Cade wins Rookie of the Year. Kemba Walker off the bench for the OKC Thunder wins Sixth Man of the Year. Jonathan Isaac for the Magic wins Defensive Player of the Year, which I think is actually a thing that could happen. And Tyrese Maxey balls out for the Philadelphia 76ers and becomes the most improved player. We finished with a crazy record, #1 seed. Obviously, with this team, it should be pretty easy. Russell Westbrook obviously makes All-NBA first team, being the MVP, and the All-NBA second team is also extremely stacked. Oh my God. But yeah, all of our guys, all of our teammates are, All-NBA 2 guys are above, which is awesome. I'm liking this a lot, and you can see obviously LeBron's numbers aren't crazy LeBron numbers, because guess what? They don't need to be. We just need to let Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook and everyone else help out. LeBron will do his LeBron thing and make everyone else a lot better. I absolutely love this team. We are going up against the Sacramento Kings in the first round, which that's kind of cool that the Kings make it to the playoffs. And then you can also see another rematch of the Clippers and Mavericks, and also another rematch of the Nets and Bucks and the 76ers and the Hawks. So a lot of rematches of last year's postseason. Very exciting, that's for sure. And even, again, the Celtics and the Raptors, I feel like, are always matched up against each other. Should be very interesting. So, definitely not too worried about what's going to be happening here. Also, again, just wanted to show you guys the standings of some of the other guys. Portland didn't make the playoffs. playoffs. Phoenix didn't make the playoffs. The Warriors did not make the playoffs. Super duper crazy. But yeah, the Bucks are the 8 seed, which I think also the Bucks, the same thing as the Warriors, are just never good in the 2K sim engine, which doesn't make any sense. It kind of sucks. But hey, let's get on with the first round, shall we? Us going up against the Kings. No offense, I love De'Aaron Fox, one of my favorite players. Not really worried about them, and we end up sweeping them in the first round. Also with the sweep, we have the Philadelphia 76ers, definitely a team we have to look out for and cannot sleep on. And the Dallas Mavericks are up at 3-1 against the Kawhi, Paul George, LA Clippers. Wow. Looks like we're not getting another battle of LA because, again, Luka, DeMar, and Kristaps Porzingis, their own big three. It looks like we're going to meet them in our own matchup in the second round. I'm very excited to see what comes out of that. That team is really well built. They even have Rudy Gay as well, which is definitely pretty crazy. And they also have Norman Powell still. I thought they would make a trade or something like that, but I guess not. And then let's see over on the other bracket. As you see in the top right-hand corner, the Bucks and the Nets go on to a 7-game series and barely making it out of there. But also down here we have the Denver Nuggets finally beating up on this Pelicans team. If you guys know 2K, this Pelicans team is very hard to beat in 2K, but the Nuggets get it done, obviously, with their own big three. It looks like Michael Porter Jr. is just finally starting to, come into his own and really start to, blossom into that great player. And like I was talking about before with the Bucks and the Nets, it looks like barely on the tails of the big three here. They scratch and claw their way to a Game 7 win, just barely getting past the defending champs, making it not even out of the first round. Big yikes. And the Wizards with Kuzma as their second fiddle looks like not enough to beat the Miami Heat. So over onto the second round of the playoffs, us going up against the Dallas Mavericks big three, which I would be very worried about in real life, but it looks like it does not even matter because we give them a big ol' sweep. I erase over to show you guys that yes, this is on the regular, difficulty, the settings, everything is all good. But again, our big three is probably better than their big three. I love Luka, but I think KP and DeMar DeRozan aren't really the players we all think they are. You know what I mean? So, wow, definitely Russell Westbrook is so far being the star of the Lakers. If I have to say so myself, I think Russell Westbrook is doing amazing. Also, obviously being the MVP of the league, at least in 2K. Super crazy to see all that, but wow. I'm loving what I'm seeing, and even their shooting stats are all very not what I thought they would be. It looks like the Celtics are not going to be making it past the second round again for another year, going down to the 76ers, and the Nets make it also to the Eastern Conference Finals. So again, if you were to tell me that next year the Lakers and Denver Nuggets would be in the Western Conference Finals and the Nets and the Sixers would be in the Eastern Conference Final, I would tell you that that is a not very bold prediction. I find this very realistic, at least in my opinion. So as of right now, 2K is doing a very decent job at being realistic, finally for once. We do end up taking a little bit of an L here, which does kind of suck. Obviously, the Nuggets are always a team that is very scary in 2K and in real life, so definitely going to need to be at the best of our own abilities to be able to get this job done. But again, if in real life with the shooting and defensive capability that the Lakers could build around this team, possibly, I'm liking it. But holy crap, the Nets just swept the 76ers. Oh my god, that's tough to do, man. Obviously with still having Ben Simmons on the team and not making their trade, it seems like they're pretty okay with the way Ben Simmons was playing throughout the year. It looks like it's still not enough to make it over the hump against this crazy Brooklyn Nets team. So if there is a team, well, I guess if we don't make it even the finals, it doesn't matter, but if there's a team that's going to match up against the Nets, it's going to be the Lakers for sure. So Monte Morris shines in Game 6 and makes this a very interesting series going all the way to Game 7. Yes, even the Lakers big three of Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis still might go to a Game 7, but hey, the Nets went to a Game 7. It looks like we are in our own Game 7. I swear, if we do not even make it to the finals in this video, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to cry. We cannot let that happen. So I end up going over to the live simcast, and oh yeah, we're doing like a little bit of a 30-point blowout, maybe 40 point. No, it's like 30. Oh, actually a little more than that. Wow. Good God. Oh. I was looking like a 30-point blowout. It turns out it'd be a 51-point blowout. That's crazy. Again, Russell Westbrook is he's carrying the team. I love you, LeBron, but wow, Russell Westbrook is actually showing out a lot in this video, which is totally cool to see. Denver just had a terrible game, very bad offensively as well. Again, if you guys ever need trouble in a 2K My League scenario, make sure you do your coaching settings. They work actually. Me showing you guys that, again, everything's the regular setting. But going up, finally, LeBron James versus Kyrie versus KD versus Russell Westbrook versus Anthony Davis versus Harden. Holy cow, holy cow, holy cow. This is amazing, amazing, amazing. I hope this does happen in real life. But so far, we're looking pretty good, at least in my opinion. Only having barely a 2-point victory in game 1. Game 2, ooh, Lakers up 2-0 against the Nets. A little bit more of a blowout game, that's for sure. Wow, even Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, and even LeBron didn't even have the best scoring nights. It seems like Malik Beasley helped us out a lot, but game 3, the Nets turned around with their own big 3, and I will have to say so myself. The CPU of the Brooklyn Nets did not do a very good job at building a more complete roster. It looks like they just kept the roster from last year and just added a couple random guys like Tyrone, I think his last name is Jerome something, I don't remember, but they just added a couple of random players, which again, definitely not very realistic. I think that the Nets are going to build an amazing team. I hope the Lakers also build an amazing team, but being up 4-1, let's see if the Lakers can clutch it. Okay, you're making it a little interesting. Also having a barely good win. Look at, my God, Kevin Durant. That is definitely not what you want to see from your go-to guy. Your best player is when he scores single digits. That's pretty terrible, not gonna lie. Even our players, Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis, had some pretty trash games, but game 6, the Los Angeles Lakers, built by yours truly, ASMballeR, are the NBA champions with Russell Westbrook. Yes, pretty much the MVP of this entire video. Winning Finals MVP. Holy cow, that's so crazy. But yeah, guys, I hope you like this quick little, I don't know, fun video of me just sort of completing the Lakers as a team, adding some good depth in shooters and good key pieces that I think are actually very realistic in the rebuild of the retooling of the LA Lakers. And also Kevin Durant, come on, man, 7 and 5 points in the last 2 games of the NBA season, man. That's not realistic, obviously. So I'm not really too worried about that. And also the Nets built a crappy team. I think they could do a way better job in real life. And LeBron James not having to be that go-to guy anymore. I feel like this is the perfect position for him to just be that all-around great basketball player that he is probably the best ever at doing. It's super cool to see Russell Westbrook finally getting that title, probably knocking him into the top 5, maybe even top 3 point guards of all time, and Anthony Davis still gathering those crazy championships. Awesome to see. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to check out yesterday's video if you haven't checked out yesterday's video. I go for the NBA draft. Make sure you like the video if you like the video and subscribe to the channel. And I hope to see you again very, 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 very soon. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you again very soon.